excited to have you. Thanks for coming. And you know what? Not only are you a star, you're a working mommy.
Yes.
2 little girls. Lincoln and Delta. Oh,
Yeah.
great names.
Thank you.
Do they ever visit you on set?
Always, always. I actually make sure my way of choosing work now is very practical, and I'm always like, is it a family-friendly set? Can the kids come visit? And luckily, the show creator of The Good Place said, yes, absolutely. And my little one, who's not in preschool yet, comes almost every day.
Oh,
She ruins.
That is nice.
It's great.
I love that.
She also calls Ted Danson Papa, and so you can also hear her. She ruins a lot of audio. She'll sit and see the monitor and say, "Hi, Papa," like during his takes.
Wait, that's really cute.
No.
Wait, you've got to post something like that. I want to see that happen if you ever get a video recording.
I mean, I would love to, but we don't post of our kids.
Okay.
We keep their anonymity. I haven't even looked her directly in the eyes. I don't even know what she was doing. I was like, I want her anonymity protected. I'm not even going to look at you.
That's right.
I love it.
That's
Now,
right.
speaking of Ted Danson, you're also friends with him and his wife, Mary Steenburgen. I want to know, have they given you parenting advice?
Mary and I have talked at length about parenting. They don't like dole out advice. They're like very cool cats.
Oh.
But yeah, Mary and I have definitely talked about, she, sort of talks about the difference between being a mother and a grandmother. And she said something similar to what my mom said, which is that they actually like, to be honest, the grandkids more than their kids now.
Yeah.
And my mom said that to me once, and Mary explained it. She said, well, look at the facts, though. When we see you guys, you go, oh, Mom. And when we see the grandkids, they go, Grandma! That is true. I'm like, I get it.
Let me ask you, what is the one thing that nobody warned you about parenting?
Oh, good one.
But other than that, you always smell like a mixture of urine and avocado.
Good to know.
Other than that, probably that your kids will take on the most impressive and aggravating parts of your partner.
Yes, that is
Because,
so true.
Right?
Oh my
kids
gosh.
are unbelievable arguers. They can create a debate, and I'm stunned. I'm like stuttered because they're like, we're gonna jump on the couch. And I'm like, well, maybe we shouldn't jump on this part of the couch. She goes, but Mom, I've thought it through because I have a soft place to land and I'm gonna put a pillow here and pillow here. And I'm like, well, but still it's high up. She goes, I'm also gonna move the lamp. And then
Oh my God.
I'm actually at a point where I'm like, it's kind of reasonable what you're asking.
Now, your character on The Good Place curses a lot, or at least tries.
Yeah.
What's your mouth like in real life?
Oh, it's a toilet bowl.
Really?
Yeah, it's a toilet bowl. I mean, listen, people take language in different ways. I sort of am a believer that, words have the power that you give them, and I use them more as adjectives. It doesn't offend me. Now, I know, like, my mom feels very differently, but we had a lot of discussions about swearing when the kids were born, because my husband swears a lot, too. Like, what do we do? And he said something brilliant, being the ever-debater. He said, well, listen, we can say to them, you can't do that right now. And there are a lot of things you can't do. You can't drive my car. You can't vote.
Right.
You can't drink alcohol. You can't say those words. And I was like, that's pretty good. So we haven't toned it down a ton. But it's biting us because the other day, my 3-year-old was sitting on the potty and she didn't have the seat and she sort of slipped, and I'll put it in the Good Place words because I know I can't say it. She went, ooh, shirt. I slipped.
Oh my gosh!
And
They're like sponges, man.
Yes, they pick up.
They hear
thing is,
everything.
I didn't react, so she didn't react, and it just sort of was like she was describing a feeling she had by going, oh, shirt, I just slipped. And then I was just silent, and then it hasn't happened since. I'm sure it will happen again, but...
Oh, wow.
I tried one thing with my kids. I said to them, look, get all the swear words out in one big go. You can go in your bedroom and just get it all out. And I thought, they're going to come up with, like, maybe 1 or 2.
Yeah.
They went in that room for 5 minutes, and I've heard words. I'm like, where did you hear those words? I was like, we leave them in the bedroom and we never say them again. But I was like, oh, my God.
They know.
Really?
That's actually a great... I have a friend who has a boy who's very boyish, and he has, like, a lot of gusto, and she's like, we say, okay, 1 minute of swearing right now, and he gets it all out, and then he's civilized all the other parts of the day.
Civilized.
But they allow him to... Because kids do... You have to acknowledge, that kids have emotions, and you gotta let them get it out, even though we might... Yeah, right? We might think it's
with their
horrifying.
friends, maybe, anyway.
Right.
Well, another thing we love about you, Kristen, is that you're so fun and bubbly, but you've actually been extremely honest about your battle with depression and anxiety.
Yeah, big time.
What made you want to share that part of your life?
I think I was going on an interview show called Sam Jones, which is a sit-down interview, and it's a long-form interview, which is you have to really figure out topics you want to talk about. And I said to my husband, like, what am I going to talk about? I just can't, I don't know what to talk about. And he said, why don't you share your struggle with depression and anxiety? And I thought, you know what? It's almost, I feel responsible for, if I present this very like bubbly, perky, I'm always happy, I'm trying to do a great job raising my kids, to talk about the reality of my life, which is that like I get very anxious and I get depressed and I check in with myself and I make sure that I'm staying mentally healthy. And I just felt like the authentic version of me would share my whole story.
I love that.
How did you
I love
manage
that.
Important.
I love that.
It's actually very relatable too.
Yeah.
You're helping so many
Well,
people.
it happens to
Everybody deals with it.
And by the way,
Everybody.
life is a joke if we're all pretending it's perfect.
Yeah.
I
Right.
mean, get real. But I talk to somebody and we have like a check-in like once a year, and he's like, how are you feeling? And I take a medication when I need to, and I make sure that I exercise, and I just basically know my issue. It's sort of like for me knowing if you have diabetes. You would never deny someone who has diabetes their insulin shot.
Correct.
So don't deny someone who needs medication to take them, or at least be open to it.
Yeah.
And check in with yourself, just like going to the dentist. Stay healthy. If I've spent 4 days at home on the couch, my husband goes like, hey, do you want to get out and take a hike? Or do you want to have lunch with your girlfriends? Like, you stay aware of what your issues are. And you keep yourself healthy.
I love
good.
that. I love that.
Very wise.